My full name is Kelly Lynn Murphy.
My full name is James Andrew Ferber.
You and me, your arms are forever enough, and you knowing me still catch me as we fall in love.
Yeah, we met online on Christian Cafe, and we chatted for about a week. I remember feeling all excited and like waiting for his next email and that kind of stuff. He always seemed like he was really interested in what it was that you said and would ask more questions about it, and that was really nice. So we decided to meet up.
We met at Starbucks in Ancaster after we'd met online. I was early. I was nervous. And then when she came in, I remember I was like, whoa, she's gorgeous.
I got there and he gave me a hug and whatever and introduced himself.
And then I forgot to even buy her a drink. That one came back to haunt me later.
He had already bought his drink. And he's like, okay, well, you can go buy your drink. And in my mind, I was like, this is not going to last. Didn't buy me a drink. And then we went for a walk. That was interesting. It was actually, it was January 13th was our first date. But it was super windy that day.
But it was like 15 degrees.
Yeah, it was a ridiculously
warm.
warm day for January.
Yep.
And I had really short hair at the time, so it was like, remember, I was like, oh, I kept patting it down because it was shorter on this side and kept like sticking up straight up. I was trying to talk to him,
I
and
thought you had a tick or something. I thought it looked
first
great.
I
Her
heard of that.
windblown hair. I'm like, your windblown hair. That looked awesome because that's at the end of the date.
it was
I'm
straight
like,
up.
I'm like, your hair looked awesome when it was windblown. She's like, oh, it's terrible. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. It doesn't usually look like this.
You were like, I would really like to treat you for dinner. Oh, and I was like, yeah, because that's how I roll. Is that what he said?
Yep.
Yeah. And he's like, oh. Yeah. So since then, that's how we
I think I asked you if you wanted a drink with your meal.
Oh.
You didn't,
But yeah.
didn't see the humor in that? Yep.
And then we went out and grabbed a quick bite to eat, which he paid, which redeemed himself. He also, we took his truck to the restaurant, and he opened the car door for me and shut it after me. And then when we got to the restaurant, he opened the car door for me, or opened the restaurant door for me. And I believe you actually came around and let me out of the car as well.
I
We were
did.
pulling out the stops after that first mix-up, and so we had a lot of good chats and stuff like that at dinner, and then
We were there till they
yeah.
closed.
Yeah, it was a long date.
It was
We started at 3 and we ended at what time? 9?
just after 9.
But it was good. It was good first date, I guess, overall. You got another one and now we're getting married, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. One of my favorite times with you actually was we were up at Miller Lake this past summer. And it was actually when you took me out on the fishing boat. And it was in the evening and the sun was setting and we just like toured around, and I don't think that's when I caught my fish though, was it?
No,
No,
that was a different
we
night.
just went around and he took me on a tour of the lake, and it was just really nice being like cuddled up together and
Yeah.
just chatting, enjoying the wind blowing through our hair, just being in each other's company. I think it was just really nice out in the great outdoors.
That's where most of our best memories are. Even the one time when we went rollerblading, just so we could have fun with whatever we were doing. My rollerblades were a piece of junk. I had a wheel come off while we were rollerblading.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I sure did. I had blisters the size of my thumb afterwards. And you're like flying past me, like, hurry up! And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm not this bad. It's my rollerblades. And you weren't sure. You're like,
But then the wheel fell off.
And then the wheel fell off, and I had proof that it was my rollerblades. It was kind of good it fell off finally. Because then she bought me new ones for
I
my
bought him a
birthday.
new pair for his birthday.
Yeah. But that was fun, too. We could just have fun.
Yeah.
We got out.
Yeah. We like just being with each other.
Yep.
We create good memories all the time. It's hard to pick.
for me, it was really when we started doing like ministry together. We were doing a kids program on Six Nations at Eagle's Nest there, and even as we were planning it, and just seeing her passion for people, and seeing how she loved working with people and helping people, and seeing the place that like God had in her life, and how important that was to her. I think that's when I really started to be like, yeah, this is the one. This is who I want to be with.
Well, I think it was also a gradual process for me. I think I think I started to know I was really liking you. The first few dates I was kind of like, oh, he's a really nice guy, and he's really handy. But then having somebody that you can do ministry with has been something that has been important and, very special to have. And the fact that we could do it together, that we wrote it together and we implemented it together, and just working with you, it worked so well. And it was really cool too, because there would be things that we wanted that I remember praying about on our way to go see, like when I would drive to Waterloo to visit him, I'd be like, okay, God, like, how's this going to work? Am I going to move? Or like, because you want to know those things from the beginning, right? You don't really want to waste your time. But I remember just praying about things on my drive into Waterloo. And then we would be sitting there having dinner. Like, he would cook me a nice dinner when I would come, which was awesome. But then he would talk about those things that I had been praying about on my way up. And I'm like, this is wild. Like, there were so many confirmations through things that I prayed about. You would talk about it, and I really just knew that God's hand was in the middle of it, and that he was guiding us, and that really, I felt like I just knew. Especially when those things started happening, when I was praying about different things, and you would just come and answer them. That's when I really just felt at peace about that this was the one. That you were really cute.
So one thing I did before we got engaged is I went to her father and asked permission. And so it was funny though, because she knew I was gonna. And it was like the weekend. It was a weekend when we were down visiting her parents, and because I would spend weekends down there, and I'd stay at her parents, and you'd be able to stay there too, so we'd hang out there. And I was downstairs with him, and he was showing me a video. I don't even remember what it was, because my brain was already going into like overdrive. I was like, okay, so how am I going to do this? And I'm pretty straightforward, and I can be pretty blunt. So finally I just said, we were just talking, I said, there's something I need to talk to you about. I said, Gary, there's something I need to talk to you about. And he was like, oh. I said, okay.
Did you say he got a big smile on his face?
He did. He got a big smile on his face at that point. He was already on to me. So then what I just said to him, I said, well, obviously, you know, Kelly and I are serious about each other. I said, and it's, even though it's been a short period of time, it had only been 4.5 months at that point.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. And I said to him, I have the intentions of marrying her. I said I have no intention of just dating her without the intention to marry her. And I said I want to be able to marry her, but I know she's your girl. And I said to him, and she's, you know, under your protection. I wouldn't ask her without first coming to you and getting your permission. And I said, I feel that God has called us together. I feel we have a mission together too. I feel there's so much more to our relationship. And I said, so would you be willing to let me ask your daughter to marry me? And he was smiling, and he said, well, this is quicker than I ever thought it would be. He said, and I would never say yes to anyone this quickly, but for you, I would. And he said, you know, you're a quality man. You've spent a lot of time with us. He said, and I would be honored to have you as a son-in-law. He said, just from getting to know you, he said, I know you'll treat my daughter well. And he said, so, yeah, I have no problem with that. And we just chatted for a little bit after that then about what our plans were.
And I was upstairs telling my mom that he was going to ask.
Hard to keep surprises from.
And
There's
then
a bit
I
of a
was
theme
going
here.
downstairs to ask him something, but I went down slowly because I wasn't sure if they were having the talk yet. And then I was like, oh my goodness, they're having the talk. So I like went back upstairs and we just waited for a little
Got
while.
ears
and then,
everywhere.
And then, yeah, it happened. So I was pretty happy.
Yeah. Kelly's a hard person to keep a secret from. She likes to know things. So I remember I was picking up, she kept asking me when I would, because we shopped for the ring together. But I remember she kept asking me when it would come in. When's it going to come in? I was like, well, they said roughly 2 weeks. And they never gave me a for sure date. And I just remember she was asking me a couple times. And she's like, the one time it was a Friday. And it was the weekend she was moving. She was moving to New Hammer to be at my sister's. And she was asking me, I said, oh, I'll be a little bit later to come pick you up. And she's like, well, why? You need to go pick up the ring?
But
And,
I already knew the ring was coming in around that time.
Yes, but I refused to tell her when. It wasn't until that day
He's
they
also
actually
bad
emailed
at
me.
keeping a secret.
Oh.
And when I called you 2 weeks prior, I was like, hey, where are ya? He's like, I'm at...
She called me in
I'm
the
at
jewelry
a
store. The
diamond
second I stepped
store.
in there to
I'm
order
like,
the
"Oh,
ring,
okay,
she like
talk
called
to you
me
later."
on the Friday. I told her I'd be picking her up a little bit later. She's like, oh, but I managed to get her to school early. Got there and picked it up real quickly, and then I texted her that I was coming earlier than she thought. And so I thought that would throw her off. She wasn't sure then if I picked up the ring or not, and it worked. But I had the ring in the van, under her chair. I figured that'd be the last place she'd look. And I was figuring, well, I'm going to let it go for the weekend because she'll be expecting it. I'm going to wait until she's not expecting it. So when we were driving together, already on the Friday night, you were asking, did you pick up the ring? Did you get the ring? I'm like, well, where would I put the ring? She's like, well, maybe it's in here somewhere. And she started like looking through things, even the glove compartment. And I'm like, go ahead, look anywhere. You're not going to find it, whatever. And she was like, oh, okay. And she stopped. And she had actually been starting to look along the ground, and I was freaking out because it was under her chair. So my bluff worked. She stopped looking. She's like, oh, it can't be anywhere here. Then he's not even nervous.
I had a feeling it would be the Monday because he had told me, or he had asked me to leave it open so we could go canoeing down the Nith River.
To which you said, oh, are you going to propose to me?
I'm like, why? So you can propose? He was like, no.
We started out by going, I took you for brunch.
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm. That breakfast thing.
We went to
wonders.
Cora's for a brunch, and it was very yummy.
From there, we went for a drive.
To Huberta's house.
Huberta's house.
Which is where we're getting married, and we wanted to sort of scope it out before, because we were already kind of looking for venues, because we knew the timeline was shorter, so...
Mm-hmm.
And it was gorgeous. Like, it was like the most beautiful... It was in May. It was May 20th.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like the most beautiful day. Like, the sun was shining. It wasn't too hot. We were the only ones on the grounds, except for the owner was there.
Mm-hmm.
But we like walked around the grounds. It was perfect. The birds were singing. It was just like, I'm like, this would be the perfect place for him to propose.
Mm-hmm.
But
you looked longingly into my eyes at one point. You're like, I love you. And I'm like, I love you. We should go. So, didn't propose to you there.
Nope.
Nope.
He didn't.
Got the canoe, drove downtown, threw it into the water.
No, we didn't. We parked the truck there. And then we walked up from the truck. We parked it down there because that's where we were ending.
Yes.
And then we walked back to the house,
We actually
got
walked?
the canoe. Yes, we did.
When did we become
walked.
walkers?
That
But
day. That's where it started. That's where it ended. So
this is true.
we parked the truck there, and then we walked back up to his house because
Mhm.
there's an entrance to the river from close to the
It
house.
was a steep bank that I
Yeah.
slid the canoe down while I slid behind
And
it.
I took the stairs, and there was like poison ivy and stuff like that. It was
At the bottom.
It was interesting.
But you Googled it, you knew it.
I was like, I've never seen poison ivy, but I Googled it thanks to my smartphone, and sure enough, leaves of 3. Leave it be.
Saved your life. Would have been awkward on the day I proposed to you.
Yeah.
But then I took you on a canoe ride.
Yes, which was lovely. It was gorgeous. The trees were perfect. The water was nice and still. He wanted to canoe me down the river, so I got to put my feet up and like lie back and
I
just
told you to. I'm like, I love canoeing.
relax. And
I'll
I felt like I
paddle
was
on
in
my
a
own.
gondola, and he's like just rowing me down the river. It was awesome.
Yep.
And I thought he was going to propose, like pull over, because he brought a little bag with some snacks in it. I thought maybe we were going to pull over on one of the banks and he would propose that way over a little picnic or something.
You know, we're going to keep paddling. And we got to the park and pulled out the canoe, and I was trying to figure out in my head, how am I going to do this? When am I going to pull out the ring? There's people everywhere. As we were canoeing in to dock, we saw some swans. And there was this really beautiful black swan, and she'd never seen one before. You'd never seen one before, right? And you
No.
pointed it out, and you were like, that's an amazing swan. And I was like, yeah, beautiful. I've seen black swans before.
So
But
I was like, I want to go take some pictures. Is that okay?
So I'm like, yeah, go up and take some pictures. And I'm thinking, yes, now I can go up to the truck, I can grab the ring, I'll have it down here, it'll be in my pocket. I'm like, this is perfect. So I brought the canoe up, and then I put the ring in my pocket. And it was pretty bulky. I had to like slide it to the side or whatever, try and like maneuver away from her so she wouldn't see there was anything in my pocket.
I turned around and he was already had the boat docked like up by the truck. I was like, whoa, that was fast. Apparently he had something
Urgent to
in
do.
mind.
Weird.
It was around 6 at that time, maybe.
Yep.
And it was just like perfect. There was a beautiful breeze. We were down by the water.
And I was trying to figure out how am I going to propose? Where am I going to do it? And then you suggested, hey, why don't we sit here by the water for a bit? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, maybe I have a blanket up in the truck. So I ran up to the truck to look for a blanket. I didn't have a blanket. I don't know why I thought I would have a blanket. It's my
But-
work truck. However, we'd been moving some of your stuff.
From my parents,
From
and
your
I had a
parents.
basket full of throw blankets from my old apartment. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I have some. So it was a good thing that I came prepared with the romantic setup. So
Yeah, she set it all up.
we
That's
took
how it
out the
worked.
blanket and we found a spot underneath a
tree.
nice tree with lots of like, it wasn't a willow tree, but it
Mm-hmm.
had lots of like hanging branches and whatnot. We just laid on the blanket and
Mm-hmm.
chatted, and we were there for about an hour.
And at one point, I started to pull my phone out, and I was like, I was gonna play our song, and I was like, this would be kind of neat if I play our song, and then I proposed to her, and she looked at me and she's like, I don't want to hear any music right now. I just want to listen to nature. I was like, oh. Okay. Slide the phone back into my pocket. I'm like, okay, gotta come up with another way.
I was looking out on the water and I'm just like, this has been the most perfect day. And then you said...
And I rolled. And I rolled onto one knee.
Yes, but at this point I saw the bookie in his pocket. So I was like...
And I said to her, there's only one thing that could make this day more perfect.
And that is...
And I said, you're the most amazing person. I said, and I would love to be able to spend the rest of my life with you.
Forever with you.
Forever with you. But I don't think that would be long enough. Will you marry me?
And I said, yes!
And she like jumped
And
into
I
my
wrapped
arms.
my arms around him, and I actually cried, and I was really surprised I cried, because I, like, knew that it was coming, but I was still...
Caught off guard a little.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, it's finally happening.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Then after a few minutes of me holding you and being like, oh my goodness.
I was
Then-
like, can I put the ring on your finger?
I'm like, yes, put it on. So, yeah. Even though I knew it was coming, it was still a surprise, so that was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we got engaged.
that's how it happened.
Long, drawn-out day. With a good ending. Love you. I would like you to know that I am a good-willed person.
That's amazing.
And
I feel like I can't say that now because you said it.
Yeah, I know, that's why I went
Stole
first.
it.
I just hope that we lived our life well, and that we even surprised ourselves, like where we allowed God to take us, and that we can look back and know that we did all that we could with our lives, that we made good use of it.
Can't beat that. What I would say to you, you were right, honey. That'll say in 50 years.
About everything. Still are.
Well, easy. It's my time.
Sorry, go ahead. Doing good.
And that. No, that's it. I can't think of anything.
You were right.
You were right.